It actually happened, guys. I've pulled the newest mythical champion, possibly the worst mythical champion in Raid Shadow Legends. Probably you guys caught the idea by seeing the video in the background, right? I've pulled the chicken. Now, we're gonna see if this champion is an actual chicken. Initially, when they released the champion on the test server, he was a bit busted, right? He was a bit bugged with the A1 in the clan boss, doing insane damage. That is definitely not happening anymore. I want to see if we can get some value out of this champion for Hydra clan boss. We're gonna see what sort of damage he deals now in the clan boss. Now, I have him built on a pretty interesting way, but we're gonna get to that in a second. He can basically counterattack with this skill, and he can do enemy max HP and defense-based damage. So we can make him a mischief target and have him one-shot, two-shot the mischief target. Probably it's not gonna be a one-shot though. We can put provoke on bosses for 2 turns, and we put unkillable and counterattack on him, which will make him very, very useful as a mischief target. Then we have fully restores all allies destroyed max HP, places a revive on that, and an increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. This overall is definitely not a bad skill. This first form, guys, is not bad in terms of what he does. The main problem that he has is that his second form is meant to be like a massive damage dealer. He looks badass like this, right? The problem is his multipliers are pretty weak, and he's not really gonna bring you much in a Hydra clan boss. Now, if you are not looking at literally pushing the limits into the Hydra clan boss and maximizing your damage and getting some disgusting score in the Hydra clash, he's definitely not gonna be a bad pull for the majority of you guys out there. The problem is he's a mythical. He needs mythical tomes in order to kind of like push everything. But overall, as a provoker, he's going to do an amazing, amazing job in the Hydra and being a mischief tank and restoring the HP, putting revive on that, all that stuff, you know? But right here, he's placing defense down, placing an extra hit with the A1 on enemies under defense down, attacks all enemies, damage increases for each buff on each target, which, let's be honest, we don't want that to happen in Hydra, and he is basically immune to a lot of crowd control debuffs if enemies are under defense down. I'm not sure if True Fear will actually be a thing from the Head of Torment, but we're gonna see that. Now, I do need to run him together with some crazier champions in the team here, guys. I need Fearwell in the team mainly because I cannot get enough accuracy, resistance, and damage on his build without having the increased resistance, decreased accuracy on the Hydra heads, or increased accuracy. It's gonna be very important to have all this to ensure that he's gonna be a successful mischief target, you know? So these are the total stats that we have on him right here. This, if I'm not mistaken, might not include the area bonuses, actually, so we're gonna get to that after. But that's basically how he looks. This is the team right here, and I know I'm running this team a lot, guys, but that's basically giving me an idea of how the champion performs if I'm comparing him with a different damage dealer that I'm currently running on this team, or I'm constantly swapping in and out. Is a very good way of giving me an understanding how the champion actually performs. If I'm not doing this and I'm constantly playing around with different teams, testing damage dealers, I will never really get a true feeling of how the champion actually performs. Okay, so just to kind of like keep that in mind. But let's see what this chicken can actually do, guys. I do want to give it a proper try in Hydra because I haven't done that previously. I've just messed a bit around with it to see what sort of damage he deals and stuff. But I wanna see how efficient he will actually be in here. And we will play this run on auto in a bit, but for the moment we're gonna let it go on a manual just to kind of like set everything up. So right now we don't have defense down on the Head of Torment. I still don't know if he's gonna land the True Fear or not, but I would assume he will land it anyway. I will try to provoke and put extra buff so we become a mischief target. So let's do that. We landed a provoke, beautiful. Let's put the defense down. I wish Mishinaki would be a bit faster than that, but hey, we're gonna do that later. Now I like that the provoke goes on for 2 turns on the boss. Now when the Head of Mischief attacks, who is he gonna hit? Okay, 225k on the Head of Torment. I feel like that is kind of like the cap for enemy max HP, if I'm not mistaken, though. So overall, that's not bad. We don't need this revive on that right now. We don't need to restore HP, so I'm just gonna attempt to YOLO an A1 on somebody. Okay, we got Fear, which is fine. Let's put a Hex on as well, so we can actually target the Head of Mischief when he's gonna attempt to steal the buffs again from us. Okay. We have no defense down on the Head of Mischief, though. That's the only problem. But he's counter-attacking on everybody, which overall brings good damage, and he can probably deal a good chunk of damage overall. Now, initially, in my previous Hydra test with him, he was doing like 600k per hit with A1. It seems like this time around, the damage really got capped since they changed the part for the clan boss too. I'm not happy about that. I'm definitely not happy about that. He should be still hitting for like 600k if they would give him decent multipliers, you know? So, 140k with no defense down is pretty weak sauce, actually. So basically, you get a ally attack, a counter attack champion that can do enemy max HP with a basic skill on a single target. That kind of like dropped a bit in my eyes. Like initially, he was doing like 600k plus, so I thought that maybe he's still gonna do the same thing. But yeah, probably he will hit, let's see, 200k. Oh, 495k now that the head is decapitated. So I do need to bring that weakening as well to kind of like try and maximize it a bit. Okay, so maybe I'm talking a bit too early. Come on, chicken. Prove yourself, chicken. Prove yourself. Can we land all of the debuffs? So we put a weaken there. Let's go in with A1 again. 694k. That's what I like to see. To don't be super hard cap like the enemy max HP. If you can hit around that sort of score on a head that's not decapitated, I feel like that is very, very good. Because you can quickly take that head down, you know? Like 295 seems like is the cap on heads that are not decapitated. With a crushing rend, ignoring a lot of defense, it could definitely get to probably hit 400, 500, 600k on a non-decapitated head, which will be nice. Okay, so let's put that. I kind of like still need to try if he's gonna be getting the True Fear from the Head of Torment while he's under defense down. So the next turn I won't put any Veil from Fearling here, just to see how it plays out. No, not a weak head. No, the strong head. I targeted the wrong affinity. Greedy Skratch. I was like so ready to get a big hit in there, you know. I know I increased the duration of buffs, guys, but we need that to keep the rest of the team up and running, basically. So let's spread our hex around. Let's go on the head of Rat. We could put the block buffs, that's for sure. Oh no, don't die just yet. Don't. Yeah, he's gonna die. That's fine. We're gonna get to that part once we're gonna have the Head of Torment coming back again in here, you know, and we're gonna see. And we're gonna swap form as well in a second. So 850k on the head. That was actually not bad. Of course, the more HP, the more damage I'm expecting to see. I do want to see once I'm decapitating the Head of Suffering, which does have the highest HP. Can we hit over 1 million on it or no? So A1, 680k there. We put a decreased speed, which is nice. 1.5 million from a Val the Destroyer. Like, you cannot compete with Val the Destroyer, guys. Let me just tell you that. You cannot compete with Val the Destroyer. If the Head of Mischief doesn't pop out now, I will change form to see a bit of damage on the other one. So let's give it a quick second and see who's coming out of there. 792k. I like that. Is it the Head of Torment? Is it 2 million damage from Varl? Of course, Varl is a bit on a different level. Comparing him with a lot of mythicals, actually, guys. And he's a Doom Tower champion. Definitely strongly recommended to push the secret rooms as much as you can. Because he's definitely in top 10 best damage dealers in the game. Okay, so we need to provoke. We cannot swap forms just yet. We're gonna provoke, swap forms, and hopefully we're gonna be able to rotate fast enough to come back and provoke that head again, you know. So let's take this one down here. 257k. Then you have Val coming with 600k. It's a bit unfair, right? It's a bit unfair for these mythical champions. The main thing is, man, like when you get a mythical, you're expecting him to do mythical stuff. And That's kind of like what I want this champion to do. It's not because I summoned him. It's just what I want this champion to do in general, you know? So let's see. Put the defense down, 500k on a on a decapitated head. On a non-decapitated head, we got 100 plus k. And that skill should hit hard because we have 4 enemies under defense down, right? So, not that impressive. A1 will attack everybody else under defense down. Under 100k damage, very underwhelming, honestly. Yep. Pretty underwhelming, actually. There we go again. He still has the counter attack, which is good. Seems like we lost the rest of the buffs on him, though. So I do need to put some buffs on with Sifi, so I can get the increased defense. I cannot swap forms for the moment. Let's try to get his head down. 1.1 million damage with the A3 on a non-decapitated head. Val the Destroyer not messing around. This will hit harder the more buffs they have on. I'm going to use it, but the main thing is I had no defense down, so it's pretty hard to kind of like call the damage. 288k on the decapitated head, definitely not amazing, but once we get defense down, once we apply weaken on most of them, we're going to get a better sense of what sort of damage he's actually dealing, you know? Okay, the A1 just dealt 100 plus K on the decapitated head, but again, without defense down, so it's a bit more like, what is happening there? Let's see. Come on, Sifi. Put that defense up, please. Let's decrease the duration of the debuffs, increase the duration of the rest of the buffs on the rest of the team. I'm supposed to kind of like do the other part first, but hey, 330k. Okay. Not looking too shabby there. So we got one more head down. Okay, Sifi, defense up, please. Thank you so much. I'm supposed to keep the buff extension for this part, but while I'm talking too much, I'm just not focusing on the actual fight as much as I should do. So I think we got a 600k. Actually, no, we did not got that much from it. That was Mishinaki, actually. So we have defense down on everybody. We have increased defense on him. This is the moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. We have 2 decapitated heads. No weaken, though. Should we wait one more turn and apply weaken? Can we apply weaken after? Actually, we have weaken on one. We cannot apply it on the other one. So, I could with Mikage. No, let's go. Weak hit, damn it. Okay. Let me just change form with Mikage and go into apply defense weaken. Sorry. This is the skill or the other one? The other one. Okay, so we got the weaken on. And let's go in like this. 4.2 million damage. You see, when you have things like that, it's pretty hard to kind of like justify a mythical champion being viable in Hydra, you know, as a damage dealer. But right now we can do damage with the A1. So let's see. 672k. Okay, so the A1 will deal 600k damage on most heads if are decapitated and they have defense down and a weaken. So that was not bad. That was definitely not bad, you know. But the main thing is, what can we do with that A2 again, you know? 2.3 million damage. So let's apply the hex a bit. Put on the pressure. I'm gonna try to time everything a bit better now. We have 1 spirit head down. I do want to try the A1 from his other form, though. So if I can transform right now... we have this again. And we have weakened this time around. Beautiful. So let's see. 1 million. Okay, so we got 1 million on the head of Wrath right here. Let's just say he can bring in a bit of damage. Maybe not at the level where Alice is, not at the level where Garel or other mythical champions are. I feel like he's definitely going to underperform versus Val the Destroyer, gonna underperform versus Taras, gonna underperform versus Calamitas, which is the other mythical champion, which was meant to don't be as great. I want to see the enemy max HP hit right here. Actually, I need to change form back. So I gotta do that in a second. And then we're gonna be able to see everything better. So we have weaken. A defense down would be very, very nice right now. Beautiful. Block buffs. I kind of need to provoke as well. So hopefully we're gonna have time to still hit the head of suffering before. So we put... Oh, we lost the increased defense. Okay. That doesn't matter. We can still attempt to use the A1, hopefully on the head of suffering. Usually it's pretty slow, so we should be able to get to move before. because that has the highest HP, right? So I'm curious to see the A1, basically. Okay, that was a weak hit, which is fine. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Do that A1, please. Do that A1. Beautiful. No increased defense, though, so I'm not sure how much that will affect it. I would assume quite a bit, but let's see. 206k. Yes, so the increased defense definitely affects it. And seems like having all that defense on the head of Suffering, you know, being the tankiest one in the game, it does affect him quite a bit when we are talking about damage, though. Because you saw on the other decapitated heads, he was hitting 600k, 800k. So I kind of like maybe hope that I'm going to pull like a million hit with the A1 on a decapitated head of Suffering, but I'm still going to try that. The damage doesn't look bad for the team at the moment, to be honest. No point to put that increased defense at the moment. Let's try to just target some different heads. I am weak affinity versus Spirit, guys. So that will be a bit of an issue, depending on what exactly I'm trying to do with him, you know. Another weak hit. My god, he weak hits non-stop, guys. Let's try to take this Head of Mischief down. Oh, no hacks on it. Let's put the Provoke again and make sure we are the Mischief target. So this skill doesn't really deal damage. On this form, the only thing that you're kind of like hoping to deal damage is, of course, the A1, you know. 221k with A1. Let's see if we're now weak hitting the Head of Decay. That's the second tankiest head in the Hydra clan boss. Come on, chicken. 305k. Okay, so he gets a bit of more damage. So it seems like the cap on the Head of Suffering is at around 500k. I've just got another hit before this at around 520k, if I'm not mistaken, on the Head of Suffering. For the rest of them, the highest I've seen was 700k on the Head of Decay, and I think the Head of Red took like 800k at the beginning, guys, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember that correctly. Now, I do want to quickly try to see if we're landing defense down, and if we are getting feared by the Head of Torment right now. The passive will be only on the other form, actually. So let's try it out. So right now we should not be getting a fear, but I do think we're still gonna get feared by the head. Yeah, we are. Okay, so just wanted to kind of like check that out. And you know what? I can stop the run right here. I feel like we've got a good idea of how much damage champions do in the team right now. We had quite a few different rotations. We tried both of his forms. I do think that if you want to run him as a provoker, especially if you're doing an auto team, you kind of like necessarily need to have him on that form. The A2, it just feels a bit underwhelming in my opinion, in terms of the damage that he's providing. I just don't think is that good. How you probably just noticed, 100k plus hit on undecapitated heads with defense down and weaken. It feels really, really underwhelming, you know. Let's see the result here. So we have 151 million damage, and that was done in a very short amount of not time, turn count, okay. Galleus, 26 million is not a bad damage, don't get me wrong, it's definitely not a bad damage. Mishinaki, you have 66 million. Feral, you have 6.5. Val the Destroyer, you have 48 million damage. So it's hard to call him a good Hydra damage dealer. It's hard to justify using him in any super crazy endgame Hydra team. I do think for a lot of you guys, he will be pretty nice with the Provoke and the rest of the things that he's bringing on. But you need books to kind of like get the most out of him. So I would strongly suggest you do not invest the books in him as he is right now. I do think the multipliers need a bit of an adjustment to call him a mythical champion. If no, it's just basically a champion changing form and looks awesome, you know. We do have a couple more like this in the game, don't get me wrong, but still. Now let's actually check this out. What damage does he deal now in Clan Boss? With that A1, he was dealing 200 plus million damage, was basically hitting the cap. So let's put the defense down. The main thing that we need to do is counterattack, right? So it's basically when he counterattacks. So let's try to put a counterattack on. Let's put some shield on, because why not as well? And watch it. 232k. That's how badly he got capped on clan boss. Definitely not going to be very very nice in here, guys. He's definitely not gonna do anything too crazy. Like, look at Alice. He has no gear. He has no gear. I forgot about that part. 186k with defense up, with defense down, and weaken on the clan boss. You have epic characters, rare characters hitting harder than this one. So that's my main complaint about this champion. And why do I really think that he's... I don't necessarily think that he's worse than Frolny overall in terms of utility that he brings to an account in the game. But I definitely don't think he's far off from that place either, you know? And that might be just my my take on it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys think that he's an absolutely amazing chicken, you know? I feel like everybody kind of like with his own opinion on this one, but that's just my take on it as it is, you know. Okay, I thought that maybe we're gonna get another counter attack from here, but seems like not. I'm still gonna go a bit more into the run, guys. I want to change the other form, but yeah, the damage is weak sauce now. 200k damage is absolutely rubbish. My Alice has no gear right now. If no, you would see what damage means from a mythical champion. Even though this fight right here is not the best situation for Alice, he's still going to do an insane job, you know. So we're going to apply defense down right now. 183k. Again, this is not very effective in the clan boss either, just for the simple fact that you need more enemies under defense down to increase the damage. So that's going to be very important. Alice with no gear just hit 100k. He crit though. He crit, but yeah. If we go with A3, 184k. So his damage is really weak, like under 200k with every single skill. And I'm not saying use him on clan boss, guys, because he's gonna change your account or anything, but just kind of like, yeah, double hitter at least with that skill. But let's back out of here. We've seen what he can do in clan boss. He sucks in clan boss. Okay, Valkyrie almost dealt his damage, and she's not even built like anything too crazy, especially not built for damage like he is, you know. So that's what we got. I do want to check him in arena, but first I do want to check him in arena as well, but first I want to show you the build because I'm going to swap the banner for arena. Total stats on him, guys. We have with the area bonuses for Hydra, because I found out they are actually indeed working on the test server as well now. 45k HP, we have 5.9k defense, 278 speed, 288. We have almost 290 crit damage, full crit rate. We have 300 plus resistance, 300 accuracy. We were ignoring 20% of the target's defense. Keep in mind we have no blessing on the champion, right? Masteries, we have offense and support. Helm Smasher as tier 6. And yeah, you have Cycle of Violence. I haven't went for Whirlwind of Death or Ruthless Ambush because it was a bit irrelevant for the Hydra clan boss. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to change this resistance banner and I'm going to give him a defense banner instead so we get a bit of more damage. And we're going to go and attempt to do a couple of arena fights, preferably, you know. Don't we have a decent defense banner in this game? Okay, that's a decent one. Maybe a better one somewhere. Equipped on... Oh, no, we don't. They're all unequipped. So let's put that on. Damn, we lost a lot of speed there. We lost a lot of speed. Let's get this speed on and get one of these. And we can head over to arena now. We gained some defense. We have 6.3k defense now on the alternate form. He looks better. We got more crit damage, so we should be a bit better. 6.3k defense, 243 crit damage. Not the best build actually. He's pretty... Not enough damage. You know what? Let's see if we can get defense boots instead. Do we have some that could replace what we have on right now without losing crit rate or anything like that? Or we do not. You know what? I'm gonna trade that 51 speed for 500 defense, just to get more damage out of the character and see kind of like where that takes us. I have a bit of an overkill on crit rate right now, but it doesn't matter. So we are close to 7k defense. Close to it. That should definitely put a bit of a better performance than before, at least for arena. So let's go against this one, man. Take that one out. Bring the chicken in. Chicken attack. Let's see the chicken attack, guys. Okay, so drop that. Put that. Do we polymorph anyone? No. Give me your Termiter. Give me your Termiter. Okay. So right now, I need to apply defense down too. I can always go with this. I feel like this first form is gonna be pretty irrelevant for Arena. This one, on the other hand, it should be better. So let's try to put this. One hit. Okay, we broke the shield. We broke Duchess out of the polymorph thingy right there. We don't have defense down on the rest of them, unfortunately. Maybe we got resisted on Marichka. I don't really have enough accuracy. It's pretty hard to bring in a defense down champion anyway in Arena, guys. So if he cannot land it on those characters, it's gonna be basically his problem. It's gonna be his problem. So when you break the shield, it's not gonna count as a buff anymore. So the damage will not really get pushed to where it should be, you know. So that's one thing to keep in mind with him as well. He looks awesome though. Like in this alternate form, he looks so badass. It's like a chicken mixed with a lizard or a dragon sort of thing, or a dinosaur, you know. He looks really, really badass like this. But I'm just not feeling the vibe. Okay, we got resisted on the rest though. So his damage without defense down is actually pretty underwhelming, guys. I do think Frolny at least can bring some form of utility in live arena. I don't see Galleus being viable for live arena to do anything too interesting. For Hydra, decent. The first form is gonna be good for a lot of you guys. In terms of damage, mediocre, I would say. Yeah, that's my Galleus, guys. That's my Galleus. I'm not very excited for this mythical champion. I do hope that they will buff him, buff Frolny a bit, and make them feel mythical. That was all for the video. I do want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Please let me know your thoughts on Galleus. You like him? You don't like him? What would you do with the champion if you would be to summon him? Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.